Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this page from the Johanna Basford Weekly Planner and World of Flowers. Now I think my next job will be to do all the, I'm just having a look, I'm thinking the some blue. Let's just get, I want to use this dark blue, the 33. I'm going to come in a bit closer and I'm going to use it for various bits and pieces, and you'll see, there we go. So I'm going to use it for all the corks or bungs on the glass bottles. So I'll start with that. And then just sort of think through where I'm going to use it. Also the labels, but lightly, like that, and this rim here. So we're sort of going to use it in quite a lot of places, because I don't want too many different colours. So I hope everyone's well today. Tuesdays are okay, aren't they? You've got Monday over with, first day of the week if you're working. Sometimes Mondays can feel a bit ugh. Now we've got a problem here, we've got a label on top of a thing that's blue. So I think I'm going to leave the label and the tie for a different colour. So yeah, Mondays can be a bit ugh. But once you get into the week, it's quite good, isn't it? My days depend on what everyone else is doing, really, because for me it makes no difference, because I'm lucky that I do a job I like and I do it every day. Now this bottle, for some reason I didn't colour this top bit, and I'm going to do it in the purple. This is number 6 that we used last time. This is violet, isn't it? And just going to finish it off, really. I know we've got a sort of gemstone-ish sort of lid, but I'm just gonna colour it like that. Okay, so I didn't tell you the number, this 33, it's the cobalt blue, by the way, just in case. I'm gonna make the little sorcery thing quite, that's the sort of weighing pan, I don't know what you call it, a bit lighter on the base. I used to have some scales like this at home for doing our baking. They weren't very accurate. And they were white. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave the face for now. Probably do that in a grey when I come and do my silvers. Have we got any more books? I'm just looking through the page. You can't do that unless you've got it in front of you. We don't. I'm going to do these in this colour. If there were lots, I might have chosen a different colour, but because there are only a few, I'm going to do them in this. I want to do them quite dark, because I like books with dark covers. They look special, you know, sort of like old-fashioned leather-bound books. I know leather isn't the thing to do these days for a lot of people. But it does make books look special, I think. And it's not like I'm producing leather, I'm just colouring it. Could be UPVC anyway, couldn't it? Which is the sort of plastic equivalent. I think, having been vegan for a while, just for health reasons, not so much for ethical reasons, but it makes you aware of all these sorts of things. And you know, it's tricky. I mean, I don't buy leather-bound books anyway. It's just not. I don't think you can. I don't know if they even exist. I mean, second-hand ones probably do. going to make that a bit darker on the front. I think the top would catch the light, be a little bit lighter. It's only a little bit. Alright, we have a couple of corks here. Yeah, my sister's still a vegan. And, thinking as I've been doing the labels light in colour, I might actually do these pictures the same way. So with a dark outside and then a light background. Yeah, see, I stopped being vegan after a while, but my sister continued. She finds it very tricky when we visit, because my husband and my dad both can't cope with soya. My husband can't cope with any sort of beans or anything like that, and I can't eat nuts. So it makes it really difficult. And she's also got children that are quite fussy. I think we all are, to be fair. So trying to find foods for everyone is really hard. And I can do that picture as well. Yeah, we're really hard. When I went to father-in-law's at the weekend, I just took my own food to make it nice and easy for him. But he always wants to try and get me to have something that he's made, and I know you don't have to worry. I'm quite happy bringing my own. I just don't want people to have to fuss just because I've got food intolerances and I'm fussy. Right. Another cork and a little label. This cupboard, I think I'm going to cabinet. I'm going to do the labels in the same way as the rest, but the actual cabinet I'm going to do the same colour as the one that's at the bottom, and the shelves I think I'm going to keep all of those the same. So we get in a different, I think I'm going to use another blue for those, but it's slightly different one to what we've used already. Might leave that for now. Let's move across. We've got these letters. I might just do these quite lightly, like the paper. Here we go. Where are we now? Well, we've got these little bottle tops to do. Okay, and we'll go across and do this paper here. Now the bracket to the left, I'm thinking furniture, so different colour. We're going to do some silvers in a bit. Can we fit that all in? I think no. Okay, we'll do this picture next. Do the edge a little bit darker like we did on the others. And then the background in the lighter colour. Just hold your pencil a little bit further down, turn it on its side and apply a really light pressure. You can see I'm not, I'm on the side, I'm not that way, I'm that way. Just going to go over those bits again a little bit darker, but not as dark as the edge. I'm just going to tidy that up. A bit messy. I think I'll do this bit of the perfume bottle. The label lightly. Leave that sort of glassy bit. Now, where are we? Let's have a look. We've got, I'm thinking the edge of here. And maybe even the legs, actually. Interesting little bowl, isn't it? I'm assuming this is like a perfume making room, which is rather fun. Let's do the raindrops. Fun, aren't they? And this bit. I've got a little mat. Just do that in the light there, I think. Just do that bit that I missed. I wonder how many other bits I've missed. I wonder how many bits I've heard of missed by the time I think I finished. Really bad though, if I notice something and I've sort of put everything away, I don't always go back and do it. I sometimes just leave it. I'm just having a think. I think all these little connected pipes I shall do. And the sort of clamp here. It looks like some sort of exotic chemistry lab, doesn't it? Thinking they might be glass, but it's a little bit easier to colour them in this colour, so that's why I'm doing it like this. We'll do the bungs on here. Let's go up. There we go. We've still got this one to go, I know. And then labels, really light. I think if this was my lab, I wouldn't have all my labels the same colour. I think it'd be easier to have them different so they would stand out. I think, no, our liquid, that's rain, but our other liquids, see that I think is coming out of the flowers, I think it might be pink. So I'm not going to do that. The tap, I think I'll do this bit, but I'm going to leave the tap. I'm going to leave the bottom of the jar. That's a piece of furniture, so it will be done in the furniture colour. So let's move across and just finish off the contents of the cabinet. So basically I think we've got bungs and labels, or corks. Bungs is what my chemistry teacher used to call them, like in the test tube or whatever. I don't know if they still use that word. I think they do. My son's doing chemistry. Some of the phrasing is changed. I don't know what colour to do that. I might actually, I think I'm going to grab my 20 and just do that, those bits. I don't know what these are. I'm just going to colour it in as a block, I think. And also to our left there are some sort of bits. See, I don't know what those are, so I'm just gonna, and here too. In fact, these and these, I realise these are probably seeds, but I'm gonna make them pretty, and they might look then like petals. Just checking, I think that's that. We'll move across and check as we go. There we go. Yeah, I used to like chemistry when I first did it. I think in our very first lesson, the teacher showed us this experiment where she just had some chemicals in a test tube and they were colourless. And then she added something in and it changed colour, and then she added something in and it changed colour again, and it was just so exciting. I'd never done chemistry before. A lot of the girls in my school had done it before in their primary schools, but I never had. We didn't have I've got like soil. I'm going to do it in blue. I don't want a brown or a black, so I'm just going to do that. And that bit would be as well, wouldn't it? And the base, maybe I'll make it darker. So yeah, some of the girls had done it before and I hadn't, so it was really impressive and different for me. But the teacher, she was really lovely, and she was in her first year of teaching, I think. And so I carried on and did chemistry all the way through school. My son enjoys it too, but I used to get quite nervous doing the experiments when I was doing it at the later stages, because we're using more dangerous chemicals. I don't think you're allowed to these days so much. But also I didn't have a lab partner. We had to do it on our own, or I had to do it on my own because I didn't have anyone to work with. And I got a bit nervous then. My son says they have to do their experiments on their own because they have to learn the practical skills. They have to be able to do it. Right, my next thought is all the liquids that are everywhere. We've got, you know, here for example. Now, this is 33 by the way. I'm thinking maybe a lighter, either a pink shade. I could go for the magenta. No, I've used the magenta, sorry, that's what I was using. I could go for the, I think I'm going to use the lilac. 62, it's not called lilac at all, it's called lavender. Okay, so I'm going to go through all the way through and do all the liquid with this, and I may do some other things as well while I'm at it, but I'm going to try and make sure that I press quite lightly so that it doesn't look the same as the purple. Okay. Don't think there's any there, although that's got something in it because it's got a shine, as has this. I might, yeah, let's put this in it. There we go. And ooh, sorry, we're getting a bit wonky. And here, try and go around those leaves. I'm ignoring those little circle dots, like bubbles or whatever they are. There's no way I'm getting anywhere in there. There we go. I'm going around this spoon because I'm going to cover that in a bit. Of course, it would be look different because of the way the, is it called refraction? My sons would know, where the water makes it look different. But anyway, now this doesn't make sense because the plant is dripping and it's pink and the liquid's purple, but you know, it's just the way it is. I've got some in here. Again, you'd expect this to be pink, but so as there is liquid coming out of here, this must be completely full. So the big jar needs to be full of this. Oh, that's really out of the lines. You don't have to do it out of the lines. I noticed some of you, when you post your completed works on Instagram or wherever and show me what you've done, you've so much neater than I am. So that's nice. It's nice to see it done neatly. Not like me. Right, these, I don't think there's any more liquid. Okay, I'm thinking I've got to do some grey for the glassware, but also some silver. I think I'm going to use two separate greys. Luckily we have the two. I have the number 80 here, which is the light grey. I'm going to use that for the glass. I'm going to show you the glass now. We'll work through. I'm also going to do this snail. I'm going to do his body in this colour, pressing fairly hard, getting quite a hard colour there. But for the glass we're going to be light. So just a bit each side, leave some white in the middle for shine. So a bit there and a bit there, and we're just going to go through every little piece of glassware. Oh, I was going to do that silver. So this isn't my silver colour, so I shall not do that now. Go up a bit. Here we go. You in shot, yeah. Just checking you can still see. As you see, I'm leaving a bit in the middle and hoping it looks like shiny glass. It's not the best. I do have tutorials for glass which are better than this, but because it's small, as I said in yesterday's video, as it's really small, it's not going to be quite so realistic, I suppose. I'm not going to spend so much time on each piece, or else we'll be here forever. And getting near to being done, I think, with regards to all the knickknacks, and then we'll have the furniture. I haven't decided yet whether this is the last video or not. Depends how long it all takes, really, whether I think I need a breather before going on to the next one. I've got a few down here. I hope you can see these. It's all the same technique anyway. This one. Oh, we've got this too. Let's do this first, or else I'll forget. Now the cloud is tricky. I'm going to leave the cloud white and do this outside bit in grey as if it's a sort of glass dome. I think that is the best approach. And if you do want a grey cloud, you could use a different shade of grey. Now these are teeny, aren't they? Can you see? Yeah. Now I'm contemplating background. I'm trying to decide, I think I've made up my mind to be honest, whether to put a very light pink pastel in the background or whether to not. I think the main problem with the light pink pastel is, I'm just grabbing my 33 to do that paper on that picture which I've forgotten. The main problem with using the pastel is that it's going to get onto all the glass. Where I've left white, it's going to go pink, and I don't want that. So I think I probably won't do anything in the background. I think it's quite a complex enough image without adding more. I think the white, it'll jump off the page better with the white as well. Right, we didn't do the liquid in these two. That was in the number 62, the lavender. So I'm just going to do those. And I'm aware we haven't done the ribbons as well. There's ribbons in a few places. Get there in a bit. This is tricky with all this ribbon around it, slowing me down. There we go. Can you see these? No, sorry. Sorry about that, I was just getting distracted, listening for my boy. He wasn't very well. He said he was okay, and I checked on him just now, but I'm colouring that as if it's glass. It probably wouldn't be. Probably be plastic, to be honest. The bottom of there, I think I'm going to do it as if it's glass. Now we have got quite a lot to do in here, haven't we? I'm going to just sharpen. Where's my sharpener? You don't know the answer to that question. There we go. I'm going to do all the little top bits first while I've got a sharper pencil. Trying to just fade them towards the middle, leave that little white gap if I can. And I'll go back down along the shelf below, doing the same thing. There we go. Oh, some sirens outside. And then we'll do all the bottles. Now doing them all the same makes it a lot quicker and easier and less daunting for me. I don't know whether you find the same thing. Whereas if I had to stop every time and decide what colour to do each one, it would take me ages. And I know for some people that's all fun, choosing the colours and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's fun, but I like it not to take too long. Now, I'm just looking around the page as I'm colouring this, which is probably not a good idea because I'm going to be going out of the lines, just making sure I haven't missed anything else. I know I have got the silver to do and the furniture, but I'm just not sure. Oh, I'm going to do this one next so I don't forget it. Before I go back to that bottom row. Oops, another siren. A bit further away this time. I don't think you can hear them on camera anyway. It's quite distant. Maybe if I had the window open. It's not warm enough for that. It's getting warmer, definitely, but not that warm yet, thankfully. I prefer cold weather. Nobody understands. They'll think I'm mad, but I find it easier to keep warm if I'm cold than the other way around. You can snuggle up under blankets and things like that, but when it's hot, there's a limit to what you can do. Yes, I have a fan and things like that. Right, silver next. I'm going to sharpen my grey. This is number 8, I think. Yes, number 8 grey. Okay, we're going to go through and find all the silver. We're going to do our snail shell. We're going to block that in rather than doing it silver though. Now, we've got a label and a ribbon. We'll leave that for now. We've got this. So I think I'm going to make it darkest there. Fade it that way. That way. Hopefully it looks a bit shiny. Not sure how well that came off, never mind. I think I forgot the top of that bottle. So this is the 80. There we go. The sellotape, I'm tempted to just do it in this, and then that shelf will almost be done. Still got the ribbon to go on the sack. Okay, we've got a little spoon here, look. So we're going to go dark at the bottom and fade it to the middle, and the same there, give a little bit of shine. I've got this spoon. So we're going to put a bit of shine on that bit, then a bit of shine in there. It would be darker here and here, where it's sort of slightly dipped in. I think we'll leave it like that. On our cupboard, those little circles I'm going to do in this, I can't hold the page down. I'm not going to try and make any shine, it's too small. There we go, and we've got our spoons and things here. I'm going to try and make them a bit shiny in the middle of each handle by leaving a white gap. Same with these cute little tongs, and then we want the centre of the spoon to be darker because it will be dipped in, catching the shadows. These are different, we'll just leave a bit in the middle. I think that'll be okay. Now we've got our chain. I think I'll just do a bit top and bottom and leave a white gap in the middle of each bit. Don't know how easy you can see. And, oh sorry, I'm not talking while I concentrate. There we go. Oh, we've got a spoon there. Same again, leave a bit of shine in the middle. Get a bit darker there. Put a few bits around the edge. There we go. Really straightforward. Tap. We can leave a bit of a shine in the middle. What I find is odd is the word tap. Americans, you call it faucet. Such a long word and so very different, whereas a lot of your words are quite similar. I find it interesting. I'm going to just make this bit metal. There we go. And now I'm going to think about the ribbons. I'm thinking, what's that red? Carmine red, number 29. Just trying to find it, I think. Oh, I think that's a bit orangey. Maybe it's 23. Bordeaux. I think we'll use 23 Bordeaux. Okay, and we'll use it for, I'm going to use it for this bit of tape here. I know I used grey for the other one. And then, yeah, ribbon's on the sack, isn't it? And the label. Can't really do much with this except block it in because it is so fine. I usually like to leave a bit of shine, but I can't really. Oh, I've missed the chain on there. Let's do the ribbon on here and then we'll go and do the chain on there. I need to sharpen, I think I'll be better. It looks very similar to the pink that I've used already, really, doesn't it? I'm also wondering about this hook that's hanging off. But I think I might do that the colour of the shelves. Which we'll do. I think we'll just get it done today. Be nice to get it done, I think. And the furniture isn't going to be that fancy for it to warrant a video of its own. I'm just checking that that is all the ribbon. I think it is. I'll do these rings. Whoops, nearly dropped the pencil then. You'd have laughed if you'd seen. He's jumping and trying to catch it before it fell on the floor. too long. Just leaving white gaps to look, try and give that impression of shine. Say it's tricky when it's this small. You can use a white pen as well, but again, you need one with a very small nib. Okay, just hearing a train go by. Right, my shelving I'm going to do in light blue, and I'm going to use the same blue for all of the furniture. So I've decided to use number 30 because it's significantly lighter than the dark blue that we used around here. So this is just called light blue. Oops. I try not to make you feel drunk. Let's do it this way. Now the front of the shelf would be very slightly darker than the top because we're sort of assume the light is coming from the top. Now there might be shade around or shadow around the items, but I am going to keep it really simple and not do any, because I think it will, there's not really much space to fit that in, and I think it might just end up looking a bit of a mess. Sorry you didn't see that bit. I'm going to come out a bit so I can fit a whole shelf on a inner thing. So as it's really very simple, so I'm basically doing one layer of colour here and a couple here, so just keeping it a bit lighter up there and darker across there, so it's really quick. Now we've got the cupboard and the test tube rack to do in a minute. You can see how simple and quick. We've got the bits in here. Try and keep them light. Right, let's come back in a bit and do this bit. Right, so the test tube rack, really I just want it a little bit darker than the shelf so that you can see it's not the same thing. So that's it, really easy. The cupboard, I'm going to go over in a light layer and then just darken certain parts of it. I find that a bit easier. Now thinking about how we've done our light and shade on the shelf, the top of the cupboard will be lighter, so I'm going to put a second layer across the front here, like that. And then I think, say, inside this drawer, there's going to be some shadow and a little bit more down the side, like that. And I think I'm going to leave it as simple as that. This piece, again, a light layer to start with. It's a bit tricky getting in and out of all the little bits. I'm going to do a dark layer around the edge. Sorry if I'm shadowing it, but it's tricky. There we go. And these little circles, like the little pegs there on, a little bit darker. There we go. Now we have a shelf here. This I'm just going to try and make the same shade as that one above. And I'm thinking those little supports might just be a bit darker. There we go, simple as that. This one is really straightforward as well. Like that. And then I'm going to do these little circular hooks, or whatever you might call them. Now the stool. Again, I'm just going to put a layer down. Think about whether any of it might be darker. It might be a little bit darker just under the seat there, and maybe there, but nothing too difficult. Okay, we have our big sort of cabinet, don't we? Again, a light layer. I'm just going to do the top first because it's a bit more complicated with all the bits to colour around. And you can colour over the dark blue if necessary. Try not to colour over the silver spoon, and then make this one a bit darker, just a little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to do this little shelf next so I remember to do it. I can hear some banging. Might be my neighbour's been laying a patio. It looks really nice. But I thought he'd finished. But maybe he's putting his garden back together. Now the background of the cabinet would be darker because we're looking into the back. So we want it a little bit darker so we can just layer up a little bit more. And get a slightly darker shade of colour. Now when you're doing this sort of thing, I find it easier as a beginner to not use another shade of blue, but to just darken up the one you're using if you can, because then you know it matches and it looks right. If you try and grab a dark blue and do it a little bit darker, it might not quite match in with the other blue and it might look like it's a completely different colour. So I think it's easier just to layer up the one you're doing. Of course, if you use certain pastel colours, if you layer them up, they don't get darker. So it depends on the colour you're using, but this one works as I'd hoped. So this looks darker than this because there's a few more, a thicker layer of colour. And for me, that's what I was looking for. I do sometimes use different shades of the colour, but you have to know which ones to pick so it's going to work. And you know, if you used a darker blue, but it was a greeny blue or a grey blue, it wouldn't quite work. So it just takes practice as well. And it is good to experiment and make mistakes. You know, it can be daunting, people get scared of making mistakes, and I can absolutely understand it, but without doing things wrong and trying things, we don't always know what's right. You know, and pencil is forgiving. You can colour over the top. I've covered over many bad backgrounds with a black Posca pen. I've even covered a bad background with a gold Posca pen. You know, there are ways. But some mistakes I like to keep, you know, to remind myself of, I like to see how I've improved and also what I've tried and that sort of thing. So it's quite fun looking back over old books and seeing, you know, how you've changed. Now with the cupboard, in the corners, I think it would be even darker. So I'm just going to go over with an extra layer like that, just on the sort of ends and around the corner. Like that. You might also see it a little darker under the shelves. I think I'm just going to put a little line under. And under this one, and then I am probably done. I'm going to come out. You can see the whole thing, but I'm going to have a check and make sure I've done it all. Let's have a look. I'm just going to work my way through to the ribbons. Haven't done those circles. I don't think I'm going to worry about that. They're coloured over. Done those, done that. Yep, I think I am done. So that is me done. So yeah, thank you for watching and colouring along if you did, or just following along. I hope that was okay. Yeah, have a really, really lovely day and happy colouring.